When's the last time you did something just for you? Not for your job, not for your family, not because you felt like you should, but just because it was nourishing. If that question feels hard to answer, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Kathleen, and welcome to a safe space where I'll help you reconnect to your needs and reclaim calm and energy. So, grab a cozy blanket, maybe a drink, and let's get started. In my last video, I talked about the importance of removing drainers and increasing nourishers to increase your energy. And today, I want to talk a little bit more about one of the most important nourishers, connection to self, or as I like to call it, real me time. In my 20s, I thought I knew what alone time was. After a busy work day or a busy week, I would come home and crash on the couch and watch TV. And while that gave me a break from the go, 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 it wasn't truly restorative. It wasn't giving me the space to connect me to myself. During the pandemic, things slowed down a bit. My husband and I moved from downtown city life to suburban life. There was no commute, there were fewer social obligations, and for the first time in a long time, I had time and space just for myself. In that space, I was able to start asking some pretty deep questions like, do I want to be a mom? It had been a couple years since we got married, and it was very much on my mind, but I wanted to be really sure that it's something I truly wanted and not a result of my conditioning. And in that stillness, I realized I do want to be a mom. Motherhood, though, broke me open, beautifully yet painfully. I no longer had the time and space that I once had, and the people pleaser in me wanted so badly to be a good mom and a perfect mom that I put my needs aside and I focused on everyone else. And before I knew it, after a year, I hadn't done anything for just me. Eventually, when my daughter was over a year old and I was preparing to go back to my corporate job, my husband and I sat down. We knew we needed to make a change. We were both feeling so drained. And while we prioritized family time and us time, because that's so incredibly important to us, we acknowledged that we weren't making the time to recharge ourselves. And so we decided that we would dedicate a few hours every weekend for each of us to do our own thing, whatever it is we wanted to do. While I had that time, I filled it with things like doing errands, cleaning the house, seeing friends, and even sometimes just scrolling my phone. And again, that wasn't restorative. It wasn't nourishing my energy battery. It wasn't until I fully burnt out about 6 months after returning to my job and then leaving my job that I realized what true me time looks like. It's time with no expectations and no to-do list. It's time for just me. In today's society, we focus so much on us or together time and doing time. Like, think about how much time you spend on social media or trying to see your friends. And don't get me wrong, connecting with others who give you empathetic and supportive understanding is very important and nourishing. It's different from creating time to connect with yourself. And I think we so naturally try to make time for other people, and we push aside that time for just us. Like, think about it. When's the last time you did something just for you without your to-do list in mind? So what does me time actually look like? Me time can be very simple. Think about 5 minutes being alone in silence without any screens. Maybe sipping tea by the window and noticing what's around you. Journaling or coloring, just something creative that eases your mind. A solo dance party, put on some tunes and just have fun with it. A slow walk without headphones. Or creating a bedtime ritual. This way, you've created me time every day. As I was burning out, I realized that I loved to go to spas, not necessarily for the massages or treatments, but because of the no phone, low lights, calm atmosphere. And so for my morning and bedtime routines, I've incorporated those elements to start and end my day in a very calm and nourishing way. I put on a salt lamp, I light a candle, and I put on a playlist called Spa Treatment. And when I have a little more time and space, I like to do what I call solo dates. These are things that I can do within a few hours, and I try to make sure that they are low cost, low stimulation, and deeply nourishing. For me, this looks like going to a quiet cafe, strolling through a farmer's market, getting takeout and having a solo picnic, or picking flowers outside. The key is, it's not about checking off another box off your to-do list. It's about reconnecting to yourself. And it ends up being something that I really look forward to every day or every weekend. I know what you might be thinking, but I need to do all those things, the errands, the cleaning, the seeing friends. And those things matter. But ask yourself honestly, do all of those things need to be done? Or are you doing them for someone else's expectations? We all have very real barriers to prioritizing and nourishing ourselves. They can be emotional, energetic, and logistical. And I will be creating much more content about those barriers and soft strategies for addressing them. But in the meantime, I've created a guide that goes deeply into this, so I'll link it below. For now, I'll talk a bit about logistical barriers because I feel like they're the ones that we think of the most or first when we think of how hard it is to prioritize ourselves. So for example, let's say that your main barrier is you just don't have the time for me time. There are 2 soft strategies you can use to work with that barrier. First, start small and soften expectations. You don't need to wait for the ideal situation like time, space, and quiet for this me time. Try focusing on micro actions. So for example, if you have 5 minutes alone, what's one grounding activity you can do? Or you can ask yourself, what kind of nourishing practice can I do now imperfectly? It doesn't have to meet all the criteria of low cost, low stimulation, deeply nourishing. If all you have the capacity for right now, for example, is to go to a busy cafe for 10 minutes, that's a start. Second, name and normalize the constraint. Simply acknowledging that something is a real barrier can help ease some internal resistance. So say to yourself, well, of course I haven't had time to journal this week because it's been so hectic. Or, of course this feels out of reach for me right now given everything that's going on. Remember, this isn't about doing it perfectly. It's about taking steps that help you feel more like you. And one final challenge. Just this week, for 15 minutes, choose yourself over your to-do list. Let me know what you end up choosing and how you feel after. I'd love to hear from you. I'm here for and with you, and I'll see you soon.